Right, team. So in this training, in CICS module training, we are going to discuss all the topics. One, two, macros, maps creation, compilation process, PPT. These are all the tables. Then transactions and how to write COBOL, CICS program, how to compile it, how to execute it, what is non-conversational program, what is conversational program, how we handle the exceptions, how we can handle the exceptions in CSS online application program, and we'll discuss about XCTL link, how we can call the subprograms, how do you handle files, read, write, update, delete. We will discuss all of them. So DB2 and TSQ, TDQ, paging logic. These three topics I don't explain, but we have already the videos for them. Okay, so because DB2 doesn't support on our server, that's why I'm not explaining. Otherwise, I would have explained this. Okay, so TSQ, TDQ, and paging logic. Paging logic is totally a logic concept, not a concept, it's a logic on the topics what we are going to discuss on the top. Okay, based on that, the paging logic will be there. So after that, before that, you can learn TSQ. Practically, I explained you that video. I will give it to you. On TDQ, we discussed the theory part in our video. Okay, so how to debug? Anyhow, I'll explain that. Okay, how to debug the program, I'll explain in our training. So these are all the topics we are going to discuss. So it will take 12 to 15 days. Okay, TSQ 1 hour, 2 hours video, paging logic 1 hour video. So you will get 2 hours or two or three videos. Rest of the topics I will explain in our training. Okay. So any queries, if you have any queries, you can ask me. If there are no queries, then we are good to start our training now. So I hope you can hear me, right?
Yes, we are able to hear.
Right. So let me explain. Let me start with the content. CICS. Okay. CICS stands Customer Information Control System. Okay. So CICS is a customer information control system. CICS stands. So CICS is used for online applications. CICS is used for online applications. So what is the meaning of online application? In mainframe, there are two types of applications. In mainframe, there are two types of applications. One is batch application. One is the batch application. The second one is online application. So whatever we discussed so far, the modules, okay, to work on the batch applications, we should know JCL. Anyhow, TSYSPF is mandatory to know JCL, VSAM or DB2 or both of them, because both are used as a database only. Both are used as a database. Next, we have a COBOL. Okay, some people will use COBOL. Most of them will use COBOL or PL1 programming language. PL1 programming language. So this is all about batch application. If I want to work on the batch application, these are all the things you should know. Next, online application. So you no need to know the JCL much. So COBOL, VSAM or VSAM or DB2 and CICS. Okay, CICS. You should know very well about CICS. I'll talk the differences between them. Don't worry. We'll discuss about the differences also in a couple of minutes. The next one. Okay. So what is batch application, right? So what is a batch application and what is online application? So I will give directly example. After that, we will discuss the differences. Example is generating statements such as bank statement, payslip or payslip or reports or yeah, like such things. Okay, anything. That is an example for you. Okay, that is an example for batch application. So there is no end user, there is no end user interaction in batch application. There is no end user interaction in the batch application. That is a main thing in the batch application. When it comes to the online application, what types of application we call as a online application? The example, ATM mission, railway reservation counter, like mission. Basically, it's a mission. Okay. So if you go to the railway station in India or other country also, when you ask the ticket, they will do some operate on the screen, right? The railway employees, the application which they use, railway employees, that can be an online application. ATM mission. ATM mission can be an online application. Okay, even airline company also will use online application. So where end user uses. Okay, here there is a end user interaction. The program which you develop, the program which we develop in online application, that application program, that application is accessed by end users. Okay. So the next one, so how we will get the input in the batch application? How we will get the data in the batch application? The answer here, input. Okay, we will get from external system that is called upstream. Okay, that is a from files. Basically, okay, the input data for this program files. So when there is no end users, how data will be coming to batch application? So that is going to come into the file that is indirectly from external system that is called upstream. From the above system, we are going to get it batch application. When it comes to the out here in the input, end user going to provide input data. End user is going to provide the input data. The next one, output. So the application program reads the data from the input file. It generates the report. Okay, generating reports. Here, output is, okay, response as per the user inputs. If you select withdrawal, then corresponding screen. If we reset the password in the ATM machine, corresponding screen is going to come. So what is the response time? Response time. So as per the schedule, means what date the program should generate a report according to that schedule, the response. Okay. Here response time, it is immediate response. So because if you insert the ATM card, automatically you'll get the response. All right. So like that, in CICS, in online application, we will get it that type of report. Okay, team. These are all the core differences between batch application and online application. As of now, do you have any queries? Right. Now, so I'll give a clear picture. Okay. I'll give a clear picture how the data is going to come to the batch application. Okay. I'll give a clear picture and I'll talk about online application also. So let me explain first one of them. In online application, there are three components. There are three layers. The first layer is the presentation layer. The second layer is business logic layer, application layer. The last layer is database. Okay, the last layer is database layer. First layer is the presentation layer. The first layer is a presentation layer. So presentation layer is the one which is visible to the end user. The presentation layer which is visible to the end user. Okay. The web we call in the website, web pages, or in online in CSS we call as a screens, or we call as a maps. In there is another component, business layer. So here is the application air program. Application program going to be here. So there is a COBOL, okay, PL1, something like that. Then the last one is database layer. The database layer can be a DB2 or IMS DB or IDMS. These are all the three databases which are supported by mainframe. Let's take an example. The end user is here. The end user is here. Okay. So end user is going to access the presentation layer. End user is going to access the presentation layer. So based on the user interactions, according to your options, the request is going to come to application program. So application program does the validations. It does the validations. According to the logic. Okay, by the way, there is a VSAM also. Virtual storage access method also is there. Yeah, so you remember that. So application layer goes to database layer. So it will check the content is there or not in the database. If it is there, it will go back, the corresponding response will be sent to business layer. Business layer will send the response, nothing but application program will send the another screen or the message to the presentation layer. Example, you entered a user ID password. So the user ID password will be passed to business layer. It does the minimum validation, okay, like at the rate, starting with the number, ending with the number, or password as a characters, numbers combination or not. It does all the validations. After that, whether the given user ID, okay, validations are satisfied, but user ID password is there or not. So we will go to the database layer. We will go to the database layer and it checks, okay. We use a select command. If it is a file, we use the read command to read the customer number and corresponding password. If it is there, we will say that yes, user ID password is there. The application program will throw the next screen for another transactions. So this is how it goes in online applications. Is it clear? So the presentation layer, by the way, the presentation layer, it can be a CICS or IMS DC. In case of mainframes, I am talking. So whereas a business layer, it is either COBOL language or PL1, either COBOL or PL1. Is it clear, team? Any queries? Okay. So this is online application program. So now I will open the other one. How the data is going to come to the business application, business in the batch application. Anyone can explain? I can see total there are 44 participants and most of them are having experience because when I see people join the kicks, I can understand that you know very well, that you would have worked on the batch application. Can I know how you will get the data? The way I explained, you can explain in high level in the pseudo code format.
From files.
Yeah, you explain, okay. You most of them would have worked on the COP, development, right? I can see more than 20 people joined today's session. So you know how the data is going to come. Can I hear from you? After that, I will add my own points. Go ahead, others. Please do respond. Like
Sorry, Venkat, may I know what is the question again?
in batch application, how data is going to come. In a batch application, now I said in online application, how things happens, right? The data comes to through screens to the program does some validations, it validates against the database, something like that. How it works in online application, in the batch application.
Through
How,
the
In
files.
application, it was directly moved from files to directly database. It will update.
but how
And
we
vice
get the
versa.
data? How we get the data into files? How
From
we,
external systems.
sorry,
From external systems.
what is the process? Okay. External system means Java. You take an example, Java. Take an example of SAP. You take an example of .NET. You take some XYZ technology. How we get the content from other technology or other system? Technology is easy for anyone to understand. From other technology to mainframe. So how it talks? That is a question over here.
If it is from outside mainframe, then mostly files or connect direct, I think, or otherwise from if it is within mainframe, then file or linkage section does the job, or
See, first of all, as I said, okay, there is no CICS for one client. Assume that every client does not have a CICS. So the client is using mainframe technology for generating a reports, but the front end screen is not a CICS. Then
Mhm.
how they can use mainframe?
Oh,
Oh,
XML or API, those we can use, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in API we use Java and then it will directly move.
Yeah, by JSON or XML, these two format usually I've seen.
Yeah.
What else? What else? Yeah, this is the answer I'm expecting, but I want to
and
hear. Go ahead.
from some systems, we might also get the data in the form of some text files, and from there, through the FTPs, uh, some of our main jobs will copy it into and prepare say some mainframe files required for our system.
Okay, second approach is somehow data will be stored in the TXT file in one place. From there,
Yes.
it will pick the mainframe system. Mainframe system will go there. It will retrieve the data from there. Once it is load, then it will be stored in the PS file or VSAM file. After that,
Mm.
we will process it. Okay, I agree. Noted. Others.
Also through the
Others.
MQ channels.
Sorry.
MQs.
Yeah, middleware. Okay, WebSphere MQ. Very good. This is the third one. Okay,
But
very good.
MQ is a like the exchange happens in the XML only, right? MQ is a medium only, or MQ is a separate thing. I'm not aware of.
It's like a middleware, okay, like API. It's not exactly API, but it's like a middleware where it can
Uh,
exchange the data.
okay.
Okay.
I think
Mid-
that is for online, right? Not for batch, I believe.
Even for
No,
batch
no,
as
no.
well.
Batch as well as batch as obviously
Okay.
it's a batch only. Okay. It is not online. Okay. Kix web services is there. That is different story. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. The
I
through
use
middleware you can get data into mainframe from other system. Middleware, APIs, Kix web services. Yeah. Web services, nothing but APIs. Okay. Yeah. Next one.
Through using NDM and NDM FTP, we can do it.
NDM, FTP. Very
Uh,
good.
uh,
Nice.
we'll get the server details, and by using FTP command, we can put in
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree. Next.
and by using the stored procedures, we
By
can
using stored procedure mean where? Stored procedure is there in your main.
in DB2 server. It's like a COBOL DB2 program which is will run in the
That is
DB2
different
server.
now, but the question is what? Your data is there somewhere else. How to get into mainframe? So somebody said, and
By creating the APIs, kick APIs,
sorry?
fix APIs.
APIs already covered now. Something else I am expecting. See, API,
NDM.
NDM, right? Can you
Yeah,
spell?
that is it. NDM FTP. Yeah.
Okay,
They will
ND
give the server
stands.
they will give the server details. We used to log in those server details, and we can use the FTP command to get the data. So we can use the get command from server to the
Yeah, that is perfectly fine. Yeah,
yeah.
got it. Hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, anyhow, you guys joined my training team. I request everyone, okay? I request everyone, whoever want to continue their career on mainframe, okay, and who are having more than 5 or 6 years above experience, please request learn about APIs. APIs are the common one, okay? So APIs is to learn about SOAP API, REST API, SOAP API. Okay. Please learn them because this is the common topic which everybody should know it. Okay. So even in ChatGPT also, if you want to do something innovatively with the mainframe with the ChatGPT, that time APIs are going to help you. So that time people will talk about API. So if you have some knowledge on the APIs, then somebody is talking your client or your seniors or solution architect or delivery manager when they talk about API. So that time you'll feel more comfortable it. Yeah. So learn it. Okay. There are so many YouTube channels are there. You can go to, other learning platforms. You can learn about API. Okay. So many free YouTube channels are there on APIs, end-to-end courses are there. So that also I can recommend you. Yeah, right. So good, I got the major responses, okay, which I was expecting. Right. Let's take a through diagram. So as I said, T, that most of the clients, okay, I'll take an example. There are 100 clients, 100 clients, 100 clients are using mainframe technology, but they are using their application is online application or batch application. Out of 100, 70 to 80 clients use mainframe for batch application, means to store their data in mainframe for security purpose. They will use it. So 20, 20, yeah. So 1 to 20 clients. So use CICS. Correct me if I am wrong in terms of the percentile. Out of 100 employees, 100 clients, 70 to 80% of the clients use their mainframe application on the batch application. 1 to 20% on the CICS. Correct me if I am wrong. Okay. So that's why, most of the people in industry, they doesn't know CICS. It doesn't mean that they are very poor in that, something like that. Because even if somebody having 15, 20 years experience also, in that entire 15 years, they would have not got experience or chance or chance to work or to explore about the CICS. So that's where you feel always here and there, CICS people keep learning, because that is the one area nowadays, in job interviews, they're asking, do you know CICS? Okay. There are various reasons for them to ask the CICS. But nowadays, if you see most of the openings, out of 10 openings, 5 to 6 or 5 to 7 openings are saying, do you know CSS? I no need to tell, go to LinkedIn, go to Naukri, just search for mainframe openings. Don't search for CSS. Search for mainframe, then you see the job description. In the skill set, there might be a CSS. There might be a CSS. Okay. Any queries so far? Are you good? You want to share anything? I'm happy to accept, listen from you to learn.
Yeah, but like it's same. I have been looking for some time recently, and I can confirm the same.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I also face this.
Hmm. Okay. Fine. Thanks for the confirmation. Right. So let's discuss about how the batch is going to work. Okay. So this is the database. Okay. This is the database. I guess by this diagram you can understand. Database. How you get the data into data is going to come into mainframe or DB2. So obviously there is a layer called application layer. So the application layer is mainframe technology. Okay, mainframe technology. So there is a front end. So there is a So this is Java or other technology, other system. Okay, other technology or other system. So this technology has a web pages and all. So there is a front end. There is a front end. Okay. So this is actual real case, I can say, as per the knowledge which I have it. Front end. The front end is in Java or other technology. Okay, we'll take a Java, which most of them at least would have heard about it. So this is the web pages. Front end means web page, website, web page or website, internet banking. Okay, internet banking, all will come there. Website or webnet. So now what happens? User will access the website. User will access the website. Whenever user accepts the data on the website, so their front end is website, which is in different technology. So obviously, whatever you do on the front end, that comes to the Java for validations. From Java to mainframe. From Java to mainframe. So the data might come, through APIs, web services, or different channels. So from other technology to mainframe, because mainframe cannot understand Java, Java cannot talk to mainframe. So we need some intermediator who can exchange the data between two components, right? So that is can be a API. Somebody said web services are nothing but APIs, or somebody said FTP, somebody said MQ series, middleware tools, MQ series, NDP, right? Somebody said, if I'm not wrong,
NDM, I guess.
NDM.
NDM. Okay. So somebody okay, somebody learning mainframe. Your kids are also learning mainframe. Good. So your guys are good. Yeah.
So sorry.
No problem. Okay. So I'll be happy that. So I'm teaching to the kids who is in second, third, or somewhere less than 10th grade, right? So I'll be happy to teach them. If they understand, I'm very successful trainer, I can say.
Thank you.
Teaching to the kids is very, who are having kids, they know very well that teaching to the kids is very challenging. Yeah. So API, FTP, MQ series, NDM might be different approaches. Okay. So all may not be applicable to in this diagram. FTP may not be applicable to this diagram. Other technology will keep data somewhere else. The application will go there and do catch from there. That is called FTP. Okay. The Java, whatever it is coming, it will store in one location. From that location, mainframe is going to come. That is one of the approach. Okay. So every API, whatever said, everything cannot, all four you cannot do with this diagram. Slightly, it is going to vary the things. Okay. So now front end, it will come to other technology through APIs or the middleware. Then once the data is there in the mainframe, then it will store in it does the minimum validation or storing according to the mainframe format, minimum validations. It does everything. It will store in the database. The database can be a VSAM or DB2 or other databases, okay, which are supported in mainframe. So then after, this is the batch application will come into the picture. Here the batch application will come into the picture. Now, once you get the data, the upper one is upstream. Now what I do, I will write a program. I'll write a program to read the data from the database. So the data is going to come. The data is going to come from DB to our files to the program, that is a COBOL program. Then we generate the reports. We generate the reports. Is it clear, team? Any queries? Yeah. So here is the one, I'll draw the things. So here is the one, we will come into the picture. The circled one. Okay. So here we will come into the picture. But so to become more advanced part, experienced people, they should know. Let me go with some other color. The light green. This part, if you know this approach also, along this entire, okay, the top layer, if you know, at least from this off of here to here, the entire, then you are good position. You're a more skilled person, I can say. As it is a mainframe modernization, this is how end to end, if you know, the other technology retrieving into here, then populating everything. Okay. So then you're, you can say that you have a good weightage in your resume. Okay. Any queries so far? Yeah. So this is all about how, CSCS, what is the meaning of CSCS is basically front end and differences between all of them. So what is we are going to discuss, team? Okay. So here, as I said, we call as a screen. Okay. We call as a screen. There is something called a map set. Okay. I'm getting into practical part. Just I will give an intro. I'll stop it. And on Monday, we will have a next session. So Friday, there is no session. Weekend, we don't have any session. For these 3 days, we don't have. From next weekend onwards, we'll be having Monday to Friday. I'll conduct even Saturday, Sunday also for few weekends. Okay. Only this weekend. So tomorrow on Saturday, Sunday, these 3 days we don't have. From Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday is our regular trainings. Sometimes I will conduct on weekends. Okay. So, right, let's discuss. So map set, collection of maps. So we have something called map, collection of fields. There is something called field. Okay, there is a field. So we have a ISM macros to develop the screens. Okay, if you want to develop the screens, we can use DFH. We use a macros to develop the screens. To write. So we can design the code, the screen using by writing the code, or by writing the code, then by tool called SDF, screen design facility. There is other approach also. Even if you use SDF in the backend, the code only there. In the backend, there is only code. Let's go with the tool. Oh, sorry. If you know writing the code, later it will become easy when you are using a tool. Okay. So to write the code, you should know 3 macros, DFH, MSD, to define the map set. Example, how we have a job card. DFH, MDI, we use this macro only to define the map. This is equal like a execute. So a job can have a multiple executes. A map set can have a multiple maps. Like that meaning. DFH, MDF to define the fields. Okay. Under MDI, MDF will be there. So this is something, all 3 macros, we will be using it. In our training, I'm going to create almost around 3 to 4 screens. Okay. 3 to 4 screens. One is login screen, calculate the function keys for file handling, XYZ bank application. So we'll create total 4 screens in our training. So initial 4 days, the screens on seeing the empty screen, skeleton screen. After that, how we can integrate them with the COBOL CSS program, that we will discuss. But I'm telling you that, okay, though I have experience, compared to learning COBOL DB2 or COBOL with VSAM, CACS is bit difficult. CACS is a bit difficult compared to them because the execution, seeing the program, debugging is a bit difficult than the batch application program. Okay, so that's all for today from my end. We will stop for today. We will see rest of them on Monday.
Hey Venkat, like I have a couple of questions.